Okay, you beautiful people, I guess you're here to find out whether Swarm 2 is worth getting or not. Well, I aim to cover this within this review, so if you're a regular to this channel, why not hit those like and subscribe buttons? I'm sure you probably want to. Swarm 2 basically carries on from Swarm 1, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people played the first one considering it was on the MetaQuest Plus deal not so long ago. And to say this is an upgrade is an understatement. It's bigger, louder, and a lot more pretty. For those that don't know, but want to know, it's a roguelike, don't you know? And basically you can use these duel-like things to upgrade your character as you carry on through the game. The main body of the game is played kind of like a score chaser, or in this case a level chaser. Depending on how far you get to go onto a worldwide leaderboard, one that I'm actually 7th on at the moment, and I'm pretty sure that's going to dwindle as soon as it gets full release. As you would guess, if you're not familiar with this game, each level you are swarmed with nasties, machines hitting at you from everywhere basically, and it's up to you to take your twin shootery and shoot them all down. Some enemies have points on them where you gotta destroy in order to actually take them down properly, and there's several different tactics that you can use in order to get this done. You see, you swing around, a little bit like Spider-Man, but not really like Spider-Man. Able to whip out these bungee cords and just swing around with either hand. Controlling these bungee cords are kind of okay. They kind of do what you want them to do, but at the same time can be annoyingly inaccurate at times. But I'm not quite sure whether that's me or the actual game. This being said, it didn't really detract from the gameplay. I kind of enjoy whipping around these small little areas whilst having in both hands some hand cannons. And these hand cannons can be shot at any time, even when you're moving and whipping around. The other main ability you'll be using quite a bit is kind of like a lock-on ability that basically when activated you shoot yourself towards the enemy and you can even fire them, and this results in like a cool little effect that if you destroy the enemy you go through their kind of like explosion, which is almost film-like. Each level has a set amount of enemies that need dispatching, and I believe all the enemies drop these diamonds and other stuff that you can spend on other stuff. Obviously to put up your character more. There are a set of levels within a stage, complete them all and you get an ender level bad guy. The first one is pretty cool, as giant killer robots go. And if you're enjoying yourselves right now, go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons. You know you want to. Thank you. And after you're completed these stages and after all the levels within the stages, you get treated to another stage, which does actually look different, and thankfully not all water based. Swarm 2 is fracking hard, and I really struggled to play it at first. I was getting nowhere basically, let alone onto the scoreboards, and I very unashamedly admit I had to put it down to casual several times just to get any gameplay footage of later levels. I have indeed played Swarm 2 for many an hour. I kind of feel like I got nowhere, but I think that's the whole point. It's the fact that when you're playing it, when you die, you go right back to the beginning, which for some I'm pretty well guessing is going to annoy them, but them are the rules. And that's kind of like where the roguelike comes from. You put your character up and then you can go further. But trust me, this will take you quite a while, considering unless you go farming, which is actually quite difficult to farm properly, or you get really far into the game, you won't earn enough to do many things to start with. There are, however, other modes to the game. A free roam mode, which is okay, I suppose, for free roaming, and a arcade mode where it's kind of endless type stuff. To be absolutely honest with you, the game plays pretty flawlessly, or at least it did for me. There was only a few times I had a couple of splutters here and there, but nothing really game breaking at all. And the only real bugbear that I really actually had with the game was controlling the character. It was a bit hit and miss now and again, but I did actually get used to it. The further on you go, you do kind of get used to it. Just like you should be getting used to hitting them like and subscribe buttons. Thank you. Swarm 2 definitely lives up to a fast-paced type roguelike game. And trust me when I say there can be some real outstanding moments here, some fun to be had. And at the end of each and every level, you get to pick a power-up. And for this, you should pick wisely, as it really can actually have an effect on the game. Graphically, I definitely felt this was a step up and in a better direction. Although pretty well the same, you could tell that it was bigger and more vibrant and just felt and looked like they'd taken it and just made it a lot more bigger. Did I mention bigger? And likewise, sound-wise, the actual soundtrack was banging. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was out there, a bit rocky. It was fun. It was exciting. It got you going. The sound of the blasters, you whipping around, the enemies, and even your special weapons. I forgot to mention that you can pick up on a lot of the levels. Easy for you to say. And on shall we go to the exercise rating. I played the game standing up and basically flailed my hands around quite a bit. But would I say that it's a big exercise? Probably not. Weirdly enough, for all the flailing around, kind of moving slightly here and there, I didn't really find myself sweating or getting tired at all. So I don't really think of this game as an intense workout in the slightest. So unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for you, it's not really that intense. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. And now, what you've been waiting for, the actual score. Well, actually, you're probably waiting to hear what the actual game's like, which is what I've covered, but now the score. So it's a roguelike, it's pretty intensive, but not in the exercise way. There is loads to do. It's kind of like a level by level, and it has end of level nasties. It does work quite well, although the swinging can be a little hit and miss here and there. But all in all, it's a pretty decent score chaser. Will I be playing it again? Yes, I certainly will. Thank you very much. And I'm going to give Swarm 2 and all its VR goodness a 7 out of 10. It's a pretty respectable game. I would say above average, and it's fun. And if the first game has anything to do with it, it's going to have updates out the wazoo. And I know for a fact that they have some big plans for this game in the future, which I'm hoping at some point has seasonal updates as well, which would be quite cool. Swarm 1, I believe, had the same. And with that, leave a comment, hit those like and subscribe buttons if you've enjoyed the content or want more in the future. Go and chit chat with us in our community Discord. The link is down below. And until next time, I say thank you very much for joining me. Take care out there, because life is better when we game together.